Hi, it's Leah, here to tell you about Dr. Anthony Pinozzo. He's a pain specialist located in Southern Palm Beach County, so if you are somebody that you know is suffering in pain, Dr. Pinozzo is the one you guys need to call. And make that call today, because living in pain is no way to go through life. Dr. Pinozzo has been in practice now for more than 49 years. He's treated more than 73,000 patients for pain. He's an expert when it comes to diagnosing the pain, and he has had huge turnarounds. In fact, people living with scoliosis, he has had nearly a 100% turnaround. Lumbar pain as well. If you've got lower back pain, if you're suffering with migraines or flat feet pain, maybe pain in your elbows, your neck, your shoulders, Dr. Pinozzo can help you. And the greatest thing is he can help you without drugs, without surgery, and without having to go through weeks and months of rehabilitation. Give him a call today. Set up an appointment. It's 561-381-5800. Tune into his show Sundays, 11 to noon. And now, here's this week's edition of the Dr. Pinozzo Sports and Medicine Hour.
Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone's having a good Sunday. You got all your hot dogs.
Les.
Hey, buddy, what's going on? That's Dr. Pinozzo. Hey, Freddie.
Good morning, gentlemen.
I would say good morning to Colleen, but she doesn't want to say good morning. Hi, Colleen.
And she's all shy. She's all shy.
She's all shy. She's going to do her hair in about 2 minutes. Okay. So.
Somebody's missing, Linda.
Oh, Linda's missing. So today we only
Linda's
have...
on assignment. And don't start today without saying the phone number, the website.
I am now going to start by saying, if you want to speak to Dr. Pinozzo directly, you could call at 800-889-0267, or you could also go to pinozzo.tv, which is PANNOZZO TV, and you can see everything that this man has done for people. The actual people, we could show you before and after photos, so you could have at least something of knowledge. Knowledge is very important. Am I right?
Not only that, but it's hard to get.
That's exactly right. But now I got a guy sitting here who can't wait to say something. The Coach's Corner with Freddie Santori.
And how are you, gentlemen? How are you?
I'm doing good, buddy.
Okay.
I can hear.
Okay. So what's going on? I know you were upset when I saw you this morning, so we're letting you talk. What happened?
Well, in Coach's Corner, I wanted to talk a little bit about... I went to the Marlins game last night.
Okay.
My son had bought tickets for Father's Day, and he invited me to go see the Mets. So I used my influence with AMP2 TV, and we got passes. We got press passes. Because there was an article that I read, and I wanted to see if it was true about Harvey. And he's called the Black Knight. He's called the Knight. There's a picture for the Mets. We had Tommy John surgery.
Oh, okay.
And Dr. Parks in California said that they don't want him to pitch more than 108 innings. So all of a sudden, you have people, agents, Dr. Andrew Parks in California, who performed the surgery, shutting this man down. And they shut down Strasburg in 2012 because he had Tommy John surgery. And they shut him down, and they lost in the playoffs. Team lost. And they lost last year again in the playoffs without Strasburg with the Tommy John.
Wow.
So all of a sudden, I wanted to find him to see if he would talk about, are you going to pitch if they get into the postseason? He doesn't know. This is a professional who has decided that he and his doctor and his agent are going to dictate the better good for the team. And he wants a new contract because he's worth a lot of money. But he doesn't want to strain himself. So here you have normal procedures, Tommy John surgery, and Barrett from the Nationals was shut down. And he's going to have the same surgery. They announced it yesterday. And these guys are fighting to get on and win the title. So they're not going to pitch in the postseason?
You know, they've got to get away from these surgeons. There is no upside to this at all. Now, you're describing a loss of a career.
Yeah.
And that happens all the time. And there's nothing to operate. That's a small little ligament about this long, and that's all it is. They're crazy.
About an inch long, right?
Yeah.
But now it's becoming even more interesting.
Elbows are treatable. We treat those every day. They're normal range of motion, no pain. So what are they doing? I have no idea. And we're talking about this because of the public, whoever's listening to this program. You got to understand that whatever you hear these athletes are doing, don't do it. It's not necessary most of the time.
You know what you just said is true. A lot of them see that the athlete had Tommy John surgery, or that, and they
so
say, well, if he
they'll
had
take
it,
it,
it must be the only thing.
Not only that, ACLs. I mean, the 15-year-old, 14-year-old boys are getting that. There's no reason for that.
Well,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Absolutely, it's not good medicine. Don't do it.
Well, the NCAA started their football this week, and out of over 150 injuries, 46 of them were ACLs, and every one of those players now are out for the season.
And what happens to their value when they come back?
Yeah,
there is
true.
no value, because once you have a scar tissue like that, you can't perform. There's no way you can perform.
So this has got to hurt them when they get into the
Well, it's going to hurt their
pros.
pocketbook.
Yeah, the value of what they're worth.
Knees are so easily treated, you can't believe it. If you know the anatomy, which I do, and they're treatable, no problem at all, especially in an athlete. Absolutely treatable.
So why, again, this is, I think the reason we do this show is to find out why people don't come to someone like Dr. Pinozzo and to find out, do they need surgery? I mean, between having surgery and not having surgery, don't you think you should go for a second opinion? I mean, you were a coach. When you were a coach and he was around, what would you have done? Would you have just...
I would have sent every one of my athletes that got hurt to this man. Yeah. I would have sent them before they played for me to this man. Because it tells me, as a coach, how I can use my player. Bad knees, you're going to hit him the ball? Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, you're by preventive measures like that, make sure that you have a good team during the season. Because a lot of those players are already injured, and they won't tell you that. And you have to be able to pick it up.
That's right. And it's funny, Bartolo Colon...
The surgeons don't do this kind of work. This is the main thing I'm trying to get. The musculoskeletal medicine, of which I do, is not done by a surgeon. They don't do this kind of work. See? So you're putting yourself at a disadvantage right off the bat. And who's supplying that? Coaches.
That's right.
Why?
Well, because you want to coach.
They're not trained, that's all.
A coach says, okay, you're going to get ACL, so I'm going to replace you. And I got to find somebody who's as effective as you.
Yeah, because
that makes me a great coach.
Yeah. They can't run like they used to run.
Well,
they can't make those turns.
The Rams signed the kid out of Georgia, which Sarah, Linda's daughter, knows him. They went to school together, okay? He had an ACL injury in November. Now, technically, they're going to wait 6 games to bring back. Technically, according to the book, he shouldn't play this year.
Right.
Technically, until December, January. Okay, he's playing for the Rams in the indoor stadium. That makes a big difference to sign an ACL player, as opposed to in the winter. If you're outside playing for the Packers and it's snowing,
it doesn't make any difference.
But in the game, it does.
But you can't hurt it. You can't hurt it. These are misdiagnoses.
Doc, who invented the curveball?
I have no idea.
Changed the game.
Yeah, right.
Right? Knuckle curve.
Yeah.
Nobody can remember who invented that.
So one pitcher just decided to change the way he threw the ball, and now everyone copied it.
That's right. Yeah, and then now you have Nolan Ryan. You got people who are known for certain pitches.
Yeah.
Gaylord Perry with the knuckler. Yeah, there have been a lot of people that threw the knuckler before Gaylord, but his reputation is what. So now you have a doctor in California whose reputation for doing Tommy John surgery is bigger than the game. Yeah. He's telling players 180 innings, you're not playing no more.
Where does it get the number like that? That's presumptive of anybody to pick a number like that.
Great question.
That's craziness.
Dr. Park, Dr. Andrew?
You should be examining him after every 50 innings. He should have an examination to see how he's doing. Should not be given a number like that.
Well, Scott Boras is a big agent, huge agent in baseball. I mean, the biggest. He's just huge. He signs the top players. He's just huge. So, unfortunately, he has a lot of strength. Because when you negotiate with him, he wants to take your jugular out, eat it, and then take out the other side, too. That's how he is. I mean, that's how he makes his money. So he goes to the doctor. He says, okay, look at my player. Give me a number. Is it 181? Is it 179?
So it's an arbitrary number that he just comes out with.
Yes, and then he shuts you down, and you can't play in the playoffs because he doesn't want to hurt his...
Why would a player want to be subjected to that?
I don't think he has a choice.
He knows if he can throw.
That's right.
The player knows if he can throw. Yeah, but you don't have to depend on somebody else telling him.
Don't ever let somebody make your decisions on medicine, medical care, or money.
Or money. You have to do it for yourself. You have to do it yourself. Yeah.
So don't listen to me when I tell you got to do something.
So that guy at 180
shut him down.
Innings, it says, I can play another 10 innings, and they're saying, no, you can't. I mean, who the hell are
Doc.
these people? Who are these people?
I don't know. Yeah,
They want to go for a championship. You only get a championship chance once in a lifetime.
That's exactly right.
So your chance
So
is
this
here.
guy, this fella should have been turned over to somebody like us, like me,
For another opinion, why not?
for the treatment. You could do your surgery. Now you're done with them. You
That's
can't
right.
do anything
You
else.
can't help him anymore.
What are you supposed to be doing with them?
Stop him from pitching.
Stop him from pitching, right?
So that he can get a
Why?
new
Because
contract.
he doesn't want him to get worse and blame the surgery. See,
That's right. He's protecting himself.
Self-protective.
There
The
you go.
surgeons do that. So you got to think past that.
So in
And,
other words, if you don't do the surgery, you're going to be hurt, and then
And if he does do the surgery and gets hurt, it's the Mets' fault.
it's the Mets' fault, right? So everyone's covering
It's a win-win
themselves.
for the doctor.
CYA.
It's a
well,
win-win.
it's because they empower the surgeons to do that. I don't empower them at all. I think they don't know enough. They know procedure. They do not know diagnosis or management. Who manages these people? What
Scott
is that
Boras, his
player-
agent.
Well, what is that player? The agent. He should go on his sailboat and get lost.
Scott
because-
Boras interviews the player, Doc. He tells you if he wants to represent you, not the other way around.
Well, then they ought to tell him to go.
Who's that? The guy Rosen.
They're empowering him.
Scott Boras is the biggest agent in the game.
I didn't even get the number they're calling him. My God.
You know, but the amazing thing is that's on the baseball high end level, and Dr. Panozzo helps the everyday person. I go to restaurants and I see people hunched over. I give out your number. I do because the bottom line here, ladies and gentlemen, is this man can help you. He's not asking to be Dr. Andrew in California. He's not asking to replace
There's
Tommy
no
John.
surgery there. No, it's just no downside to what we do for. Yeah, we do help everybody. Thank you very much. I mean, I didn't know you were doing that.
That's a life.
Well, I got him a client. It was a very funny story. A guy in the gym. How many operations did he have on his knees?
I think it was 4.
Okay.
They replaced his knee.
Yeah. So he was telling me. He said, "Hey, Les, what's the name of that guy you always telling me about?" He came to you,
Yeah.
and guess what? He says to me at the gym. He said, "You know, I'm feeling a lot better now. It's the first time I've been on the treadmill in 8 years." I said, "If you have any friends, tell them." He says, "I tell everybody about this guy. Here's what's amazing, which I guess in a way could be a problem for most doctors. You're in and out. You don't come back again."
Yeah, we don't encourage people coming back either. I mean, they're surprised and say, "When do I have to come back?" I said, "You don't have to come
done.
back. In fact, don't come back unless you have a problem."
Well, you have a new problem.
A new problem. I don't want to see you anymore.
But that's the uniqueness about Dr. Panozzo.
Yeah.
He can help you before surgery, so
And
you
after.
don't have to have it. Or if you go in and have it done, you're going to have scar tissue. If you have pain, come and see him.
Yeah, a lot of that is overdone. I mean, these surgeons have too much power. The insurance companies ought to stop paying for this. I mean it. There is no such thing as an ACL tear. You can't get to it. There's no way to get to it.
Well, that's the part I wish. I'm working on that.
And it's all in anatomy. Go to the anatomy book and read it. Go to the library. It's right there in front of you.
I'm having an agent come in here. I mean, I wish it was Scott Boras, but it isn't.
Not that
gonna be
same
him.
guy that we were supposed to have the last time who
Yes,
got into a car accident.
No, he didn't get into a car, but I have an agent come in here, and he represents some players.
All right.
And he's been watching the show and doing his evaluation. But all these guys are the same. You know, they're all about the contract. They're all about negotiations, and they want the best for their client, not to be injured. But an ACL shuts you down. Where's the money in that?
Well, how about 46 college players might not get a chance to play, especially if they're-
That's the biggest tragedy
Yeah.
there is.
they might not get a chance to play in the NFL.
There may have been somebody really good in that group, and
Yeah.
they'll never.
You're
get a
never going to
chance-
see them.
They'll never get a chance to play.
Yeah. Wow, 46, huh? First week?
First
First
week,
week.
46 of them had, actually, 46 had ACLs in the NCAA. 25 had leg problems. They missed 6 games. 3 of them had ankle problems. They were out for the season. 2 of them, which bicep, and they're out for the season. Lower body was 7 out for the season. Groin, 1 was undetermined.
Groin. There you go. Tell them to call us.
You see what's going on? I think
mean,
the trainers are evaluating these people, and the surgeons are going along with it until they're so bad they have to do something else. But there's a big weakness. The NFL, AFL, whoever
NFL.
they are, that owns these teams ought to be better at business because they're not very good at business.
Well, I think what happens, you tell me if I'm wrong, Frey, the owner hires the coach and hires the staff, and he just worries about one thing, protect my number 1 player, my number 2 player, and let me fill up the stadium. That's what he. And he
Actually, let me fill up the stadium first.
yeah.
He
Exactly.
lets other people worry about the place.
Yeah.
But Doc, you hit a good point. The trainers today are different from the trainers 10 years ago. And you hit a solid point. What's happening is all of a sudden you're seeing all these injuries, a rash of injuries. The NFL changed their practice schedule. You're not allowed to do as much contact. They're doing more lifting, more weightlifting. They're making these guys gigantic.
Compound.
Yeah, I mean, you got guys that weigh 350 pounds running a 4.3.
Yeah,
That's like a train.
Wow.
it is. And the injuries are still the same as they've always been. Ligament.
Yes.
Yeah.
All
They're
attributed
all
to
ligament
ligaments.
injuries. ACL is a ligament. It's all a ligament. They can all be injected. They can all be treated. You don't have to operate those things.
So this is what annoys the life out of me. Why don't, if you're an owner and you want to keep that number one player playing who has an ACL, why not look for something that works? I mean, you're a regular doctor.
But it's like having a gold mine there. As long as you keep mining it and it keeps coming up, what difference does it make? Hey, you didn't make it. Well, we gave you a chance. That's it.
Well, look what happened to RG3.
You know who they always blame the rehabilitation on? The player. They'll get as good as they want to get.
Right.
The more pain endured. I mean, I've heard people talk like that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like to shoot them. What are they talking about? You don't do that to a human being. You have to know what you're doing for them. They don't do it themselves.
Of course not. Well, here, RG3, how many times, Freddie, was he hurt and operated on? Now they let him go after 3 years of in the NFL.
Did they cut him?
Yeah, it was cut.
You're kidding.
Nope.
Well, not only that, but the offensive line stinks.
Well, you know what happened? He couldn't come out for the game because if he stepped his foot on the field, they had to pay him $14 million.
That's right. He was a guarantee baby.
Yeah, so I had to keep him in the locker room.
And what has he got? He has a torn ACL?
He had 2 operations on his knees. One was a torn ACL. The other was another knee problem. Got operated twice. No, 3 times. They decided, you know what? He can't run, and RG3 was a runner.
Look, if they're operating the second time on the knee, they're operating on scar tissue.
Right.
The same thing is not in there. If they took the ACL out, what is in there?
That's what I
I
understand.
mean, they put another one in.
Yeah.
But where'd they get that? From another tendon or ligament somewhere. The whole thing is so bizarre, you can't even believe it. I mean, it's bizarre. You don't even need an ACL to play.
Really?
At all. No, it doesn't do anything except to hold the tibia and the fibula together. That's all.
That's it.
That's all.
But it must be painful if you injure it.
No, it isn't, because there's no sensory fibers, no pain fibers inside the knee. They're all on the outside.
So it's the outside.
It's the outside of the knee that hurts. It's the capsule.
Oh.
It's a capsule in front of that is in there, not the ACL.
Now, as a professional football
And you
player,
can't get that until the back of the knee is contracted. In other words, it doesn't straighten out.
but can you make the cuts you need to do in the NFL without an ACL?
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. The strength is in there's 2 tendons in the back for flexion.
This is a scary guy.
No, I mean, think about that. I mean, it is.
But the thing about the hamstring, and his son confirmed it, I've been getting flooded with emails. What do you mean there's no such thing as a hamstring?
You got some chat people going in now?
I don't have any right now, but I've gotten emails about, what do you mean that there's no such thing as a hamstring pull?
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you're getting the right information here. Don't even question it. There is no ACL injury.
Well, we've been on for almost 2 years, and we always
They don't
ask.
challenge us.
I have an article here on how do you treat an eccentric approach to hamstring injuries.
Right.
And it's all making the hamstring work harder. But it already works hard. A hamstring does its job every day. It lifts your leg
Okay.
and has you walking. And the hamstring is made up of muscles that control the knee. So it brings the foot back, in other words, knee flexion.
Mm-hmm.
And is used in, and the calf is used in steppage forward. So that's all the hamstring does. It starts the muscles that control the knee start at the hamstring at the top. Mm-hmm. And the ischial tuberosity and the femur, and that's about it. And that's most of it. And so that it makes your leg, it brings your leg up when you flex your knee. That's what it does.
Okay.
And the straightening of your knee then is done by the quadriceps, which is the front of your hamstring, or the femur. The thigh, front of your thigh, and the hamstring is the back of your thigh. So that's how it's arranged, and it's both of these muscles work alternately to get you to move, to run, to climb steps. But if you have a hamstring problem by itself, it's easily found by palpation. You just put a shot in and it's gone. Just like that. I mean, just even before you pull the needle out, it's gone. And that's local. Now, if it's referred, you don't find a local place. It's got to come from the back then. But if you don't know the pain patterns back there, you can't know it and you can't treat it. See?
That's the thing that you do that nobody does, which is amazing. I mean, I've seen people come in with pain in an area that really wasn't where the pain was. Where he put
This is exactly what him and his son pointed out.
Cause of the pain is what he finds out.
The hip to the hamstring. Doc, when my kids used to play, they used to get cramps in the thigh, right? So we used to stretch it because it's like a ball in your thigh. It feels like a ball when you touch it. And then they were screaming in agony, and then we stretched it and got them hydrated, and they were fine.
None of that works because you didn't know where that pain was from.
All I felt was a ball in the back of the thigh.
I know, but it could have been from the inside of the hip joint also.
Yes, it could have.
There's a special exam we do. Nobody does this stuff.
No.
I mean, what I'm talking about, nobody knows what I'm talking about. But we pick them up all the time. I'll tell you how you find this out. If you see old people walking,
Thank you.
They walk with very short steps, like Les. Very, very short steps. And their toes are inside. That's a hip problem. And you wouldn't know the difference from the hamstring because it refers to the same area. So you have to know pain patterns. You got to know the anatomy and the physiology, what makes a pain. Now, if you get my book, which you should, Arthritis and Other Pain Syndromes, you get it from Amazon. It costs you $18.
What's the name of the book?
It's worth every dime of it.
Name of the book, Doc?
Arthritis and Other Pain Syndromes. That's the name of it.
Okay. Arthritis. Well, what I'm
arthritis. I'm using that as a term.
Okay.
Doesn't mean anything.
Really?
See, arthritis doesn't mean a thing. It means wear and tear. It means calcium formation and ligament structure. That's actually what it means. But people say, "Do I have arthritis?" No, you don't have arthritis. What the hell is that? You know, you got to. We don't talk about things like that. We talk about location.
Right.
If your hip hurts, it's capsulitis of the hip, not arthritis. So I never use that term. Anyway, that's how I put that term on the book. And
well,
so, just to get your interest up.
Should we issue a public appeal to call in if you have an ACL injury?
Sure.
I think that'd be good.
Yeah, tell me how long you've been out of work.
800-889.
Hey, anytime anybody wants to challenge what I'm saying, you go right ahead.
Well, we haven't been challenged
put it
for
on
2
the air.
years.
Yeah, well, we'll put it on the air.
If you know more than I do, tell everybody.
You know, we've issued challenges to people, to doctors. I mean, surgeons are great at what they do.
People call me up and they want to know what I do.
Okay.
But those are plants.
Yes.
Those are people who actually want to know what I do so they can do it.
What's the name of the shot? What kind of shot is? All you can say is this. Well, let me just tell everyone. I'm what is known as a very expensive sink with rusted pipes. On the outside, look great. Cohen, is that true? Okay, Cohen just shook her head. On the inside, I have a lot of.
What the hell's he talking about?
No, wait.
I don't know what.
Hey, look.
Colleen's been smoking pot again.
Come on in now. So
the reason I said that was because in the morning show they were talking about dogs eating pot, and they're glassy-eyed and they're walking around like this.
Well, that's Paul Young Run in the morning.
Yeah, it's a bad thing.
That's because they were talking about seeing-eye dogs. But anyway, that's another.
Well, and I could tell you that the shot that Dr. Pinozzo gives was said it was okay by 5 of what I consider to be some of the finest doctors in the country that travel all over the world. You know what they said to me? That shot can only do you good. It can't hurt you. It doesn't hurt anything. He said the medicine that some of them will predict, that'll hurt you. So I want everyone to know if you're coming in.
The surgery hurts you. The shots don't hurt you. The surgery hurts you.
If anyone's coming in for Dr. Pinozzo, Dr. Pinozzo, I think, doesn't even have a prescription book.
No.
Okay?
Doesn't need it.
No, because he believes, like a lot of doctors today, that medicine will kill you.
And the main thing is an MRI costs so much money.
Oh, gosh.
And we're actually treating things for less than it costs to get an MRI.
And everything gets an MRI.
And everything's an MRI.
Everything.
Nobody's
Everything.
examining. We examine everybody for everything.
I got news for you. Yo West Expenses then did it for two at Capitol Grill.
Absolutely.
Well, I got news for you. My uncle's
I wouldn't
doctor.
say that.
Oh, if you order a bottle of wine, you have a couple of shots, then it's a little.
My uncle's a doctor in Puerto Rico, and I told him. I said,
God, a
I
real
explained.
doctor?
He's a real
Not
doctor.
one of those guys with
No,
the-
no, he's a real doctor. As a matter of fact, he's on the board of.
Good.
Anyway, so I told him about what you did and everything else, and he said to me, "How precise is he?" And I said, "What does that mean?" He says, "Because what he's doing is ingenious, but does he always hit the mark?" I said, "About 99.9% of the time."
Yeah, that's right.
He says, "That's unbelievable."
Yeah.
And this is my uncle
Only
talking to me.
it's 99 because there might be 2 or 3 places doing a pain.
That's right.
So when we're after the main one, that's
right.
100%.
But he said that it's your accuracy that makes it
Accuracy.
different.
That's exactly
He says,
right.
everybody can get their hands on the medicine. It is the accuracy.
I always say
It's very true, Freddie.
it's not what I'm using. It's actually why and where I use it.
It's how you use it.
That's what counts.
Because you can buy any doctor could use what you use,
Yeah, anybody.
but they don't know where the pain is coming from.
That's
That's the key to
That's
it.
the key. And that's what he told me. He says if he's consistently hitting the mark, then this guy's unbelievable.
it's
so-
true.
Well, we had 2 vertigo patients in.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
The vertigo. Oh, what a thing! What a
well,
deal that is.
it's amazing. It was so.
You know, everybody thinks it's an ear problem, right?
Yeah, that you have to. Yes. One of them, the elderly lady who must have been in her 60s was they put her on one of those some kind of things that are in your ear that's causing it.
You see, none of those work
Inner ear
because
stuff,
it's
right.
not an inner ear problem.
Right. Well,
They
we found
say
out.
it is, and they drop this whole deal onto the ear, nose, and throat guy, and he doesn't have a clue.
No.
I mean, does anybody get successfully treated?
Well,
No.
let me tell you, the 2
No,
people
they
that
do
I
not.
met.
No, they do not. And then there's no surgery for it. And these guys are surgeons.
Yeah.
So but we discovered by accident where vertigo comes from, and we're treating it successfully. I just had Friday. We just had.
Yeah, you tell me.
A guy brought his wife in, and she was reluctant because she's had this vertigo for a long time, taking medication. And I said, "Look, take this procedure. There's no downside to it. It works. It's very good. You'll tell us in a couple of minutes. It's up to you to tell us if it worked or not. I'm not going to tell you it works. You tell us if it works." That's me and her husband. So she finally did that, and it took about 3 seconds to do the procedure. And then we sat and talked for 2 minutes. And all of a sudden she says, "I feel better. I'm moving my head. It doesn't hurt." You know, and this was not solicited. We were
No.
talking about other things. But that's how I do it. So you're going to know whether you got better or not. I'm going to tell you you're better. You're going to tell me.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well,
It is amazing.
Well, the beauty of the 2 vertigo patients, one was in the mid-40s, like 46, and the other lady was like 65. But for some reason, they both came in together, and the lady that was 65 was saying, "Oh, my God, ever since I've seen this man, I don't have vertigo anymore." And the one that took it, the younger one, now she could actually drive and not be concerned about the cars that are alongside her. She would start getting, like, very nervous and go into a panic attack.
You know, Les, neither one of them ever came back.
No.
They were fixed. They didn't.
You know, Doc, you ever think a lot of the
So
That's
this
good.
is
Yeah.
this is a big thing, people. We're not fooling you. This is true.
Yeah.
Vertigo, if you have that, is not an inner ear problem. I'm convinced of that. I never understood that thing anyway.
There's some of my crystals they were talking about in the air.
Crystals, baloney. I mean, it can't be.
But these people went to all these people.
I know. They all say the same thing
Yeah.
because they all repeat the line that some professor said, who wrote an article. See, that's the way it works in
Don't
medicine.
believe everything you read and half of what you
cannot-
see, guys.
You've got to have a head on your shoulders, and
Right.
I do. And I'm telling you, if it doesn't make sense to me, there's got to be another reason.
And you said one word that was the most important word for everyone out there. There's no downside.
No downside.
There's no side effects.
So
There's
that,
nothing in there that could hurt anything.
Yeah, and I never tell anybody that they're fixed. I don't. I
Oh.
say, make it hurt if you can. That's what we tell everybody. And they say, what? You want to make it hurt? I said, yes, make it hurt. And they can't.
Oh, that's like the guy in the office. He said, "You said do what you did that caused pain." He said, "You want me to do it?" He said, "Oh, I don't have it." Wait, so maybe I'm doing it wrong. So he started winning back the other way, going.
Yeah, this is typical. We do this 7, 8, 10 times a day. You know.
And I tell everyone, come on in the office and just sit there and watch what he does. I mean, yeah, look, to me, I would much rather go to a shaman and have a surgery. Seriously. I would do anything to not have surgery because I'm afraid.
You rather go to a what?
A shaman.
What's a shaman?
A shaman is a magician that says, "Oh, blah blah, you're okay," but you're going
Wait
to
a minute. You're going to
In what
get the
country?
wrong idea.
No, no.
We're not doing any magicians.
Wait a minute, in what country is a shaman?
Let me finish my statement.
A shaman. Don't squeeze the shaman.
As a Greek would say, the reason why I like Dr. Pinozzo is not only did he fix me up, but he went to Ohio State and I had money on the Ohio State game.
No, okay. Well, that's good to know, Les. I'm back to the shaman. What is that?
Back in the old days, they used to have one, and what I'm trying to get across to people is this. Here is a doctor that graduated from Ohio State University, one of the most prestigious colleges in the country. He's someone that has dedicated his whole life to helping people, okay? And I've known people that have come to this doctor that can't even afford it, and he does it because he wants to help. So it's not a money issue with Dr. Pinozzo, because like I said, it's so inexpensive and it's worth it. Why suffer in pain? I know people that have had, you know what I tell everyone? Go to a friend who knows a friend that had a knee had their knee out. Tell them if it still hurts. I know 4 people.
Oh, absolutely it hurts.
4 people.
Any surgery you've had hurts.
It's over a year now, and they still having pain when they walk. Why? Why is that?
Well, because
Took out the knee.
Scar tissue is now prominent. So you can't say there's a knee there. You can't say there's a hip there. So where's the pain from? It's the scar tissue from the procedure.
And you've gotten rid of that from this guy.
And we get rid of it because that's what it is. But if you go back to the surgeon, he'll say, well, it's a failure of the da-da-da-da-da-da. We have to replace the knee. We have to replace the hip. Don't do it. It's just scar tissue. When they operate, these are done by computers, and they're very, very good. Surgeons do a nice job if you need it. I'm saying you don't need it, but afterwards, it's out of their purveyance. They don't have anything to offer. They're referring you back to the therapists who don't have anything to offer. Only because they're not equipped. They can't do what's necessary. And so you're going back to the surgeon. Now you have these big settlements where they said, oh, the failure of this, Dupai was one, I think, sticks in my mind, who paid millions and millions of dollars out.
And Stryker.
For failure. And all it is scar tissue. I've seen those people. That's just scar tissue.
Doc, I got a question for you. It came from the chat box. Anti-inflammatory. So you have the surgery, you have scar tissue in there, there's pain. Right. And they prescribe anti-inflammatories. What does that do, Doc?
Well, if they prescribe them by mouth, you can't get it in there.
That's my point.
Not enough to get it in there. That's why we use shots, because it's a little uncomfortable while it's happening, but it's only a 2-3 second deal, and you get rid of it. You don't have to take anything by mouth, upset your stomach, and you got to buy this stuff, and you got to go get it and take it.
And that's going throughout the whole body, right? That's not into the localized area.
And, it
doesn't shrink the tissue, does it?
It can't get there.
That's what I wanted to point out.
That's why we use...
You know how many people take those anti-inflammatories, think that they're going to be cured?
Guess who's on the phone?
Uh-oh.
Dr. Paul.
No, Dr. Paul.
I think he must have heard something he liked.
Okay, why'd you hear, Doc, that you want a question? Hey, Paul.
Good morning, you guys.
How are you?
Terrific. How's everybody?
Everyone's good?
Great.
We were just talking about what's happening in the NCAA and all the guys that are going to be out with ACL
all these,
problems.
ACL injuries, Paul. I mean, it's pathetic.
Well, I don't... I know some of those guys with knee injuries. I saw an injury yesterday, though. A punter got hit.
Yes.
From the side, and I swear, their knee is supposed to go, bend in one direction, and it was bending in a totally wrong way. So I think he's going to have some trouble. That punter got hit. He got hit when he had his foot. One foot was up in the air, with his punt, and one was planted, and he got hit, not planted.
That was the Alabama game, wasn't it? Alabama was in Wisconsin?
No, it was. I think it was the Arizona State. I was watching Arizona State.
Oh, okay.
Get shellacked by Texas A&M, and I think that's the game.
Arizona State.
But see, that's still a sprain. There's a ligament there,
right,
that he's describing, and that's a sprain. Now, if you put a steroid in there, it'll resolve a lot of it. And it might take 2 or 3 days to do it, but at least you don't have a scar tissue there. See, that's the main thing.
I was telling the audience, Paul, that over 150 injuries yesterday, 46 of them or ACLs, and all these people are going to be out for the season.
Yeah, well,
God.
this is the season. Football is got a lot of things wrong after football games.
Well, there's a few shoulders and hamstring and turf toe, and
Torn bicep, I have too.
but mainly ACL,
Yeah,
ankle, foot, and Achilles.
yeah, that's what I
I've
got.
seen a lot of Achilles injuries, and a lot of times they're not Achilles.
Is that the back of the foot, the Achilles?
It's
Is
the
that
back of the yeah.
heel like? Yeah, okay.
It's Achilles is what sets you forward when you're walking, and but that's easily diagnosed. You can't hurt an Achilles very easily. It's a very tough ligament. It's like the SI joint, sacral SI joint. You can't hurt that either. Yet there's people coming around and say we have a surgery for that. I mean, don't do it, people. God.
I mean, I would do it.
Yeah, that SI joint. Every fusion we've seen has never been successful. I've never seen a successful surgery for that.
Yeah, I've never seen a sacroiliac joint pain in my life, and I've seen 50-some thousand people and 53 years at it, and I've never seen one.
Really?
No.
Wow.
I saw one, but I got to amend that. I saw one after a surgery,
Okay.
and I had to fix it because the surgery left inflammation there, which is painful on the SI joint, which doesn't exist. Don't even think about it.
What about collarbone? It looks like there was like 3 of them yesterday that had collarbone injuries, and they were undetermined when they're ever going to come back, if they come back.
Well,
How's that? Is that a hard diagnosis to do with the collarbone?
no, there's an AC joint there. Trouble is that with the AC joint, you could spring it. In other words, stretch it out so much that it looks humpy,
Right.
and you got a problem with it after that. But the pain by itself can be reduced. It's a matter of, but you never lose the deformity, though. In my experience, maybe I don't have all the experience in the world, but from what I saw.
No.
What would you see, Paul? Can you do anything with that, AC?
Well, if you get too much of that, sometimes they have to put sometimes they put a screw in it. But were you talking, were they fractures yesterday, clavicle fractures, or were they, what kind of injuries were they?
Well, in the
They don't
NCAA
say.
report, it just said collarbone injury. It didn't say.
Yeah, if it's a fracture, that can be managed. But if the AC joint, a acromioclavicular joint, is sprung, in other words, it's pulled out, you have a hard time getting it back in there. And if you put a screw in, you're losing the mobility of the shoulder.
Oh, so
Yep.
that even hurts some more then.
Yeah, it hurts even more. See, so it's a tough one.
How about the shin?
Shin is just muscle.
Yeah, because there were 3 players that had shin problems, and they're out for the season.
You shouldn't be out for the season. You should be out for an hour, and that's all.
And wait, here's the best one.
I know who's diagnosing this stuff. I mean,
Paul, this is funny because your father took care of me with this injury, groin injury, and it says not determined how long they'll be out.
yeah.
I was out with a groin injury after I got your father's shot for about 6 hours. I was at the gym. I was at the gym the next day, and I was doing squats and all those other exercises.
You might hear of athletes that get what's called a sportsman's hernia, which isn't really a hernia. It's multiple, kind of pull injuries where the muscle attached to the bone along the pelvis there, the ring of the groin, and they get multiple pull injuries. And historically, they thought they were hernias. That's why that name. That's why it got coined a sportsman's hernia, but it's not a hernia. But you'll see that, and people are out for seasons. It's like, what in the world? Just go treat those places, right?
Well, they don't approach it like that because they don't do much of the skeletal medicine like we do. Their approach is entirely different. Let's get an MRI.
That's the first words that come out.
I mean,
well, let me say, I'm glad you said that. All of these injuries of all these players is determined by the status of what they read on the MRI, and they all go in for surgery.
Right, which is wrong. Who is reading an MRI?
I'm just reading the facts. What they
all right, I understand that. I'm trying to explain,
Good.
Les.
That's your job here.
Who is reading the MRI? It's a radiologist. Does he know anything about this player? Absolutely not.
No,
Did he
that's true.
examine this player? He did not. He's reading an X-ray. That's all he's reading. And that is wrong. I mean, I learned in first year medical school at Ohio State, Dr. Pryor said, don't trust an x-ray to make a diagnosis for you. You must examine the patient. And when was that? 1963.
Oh, I was in my second year of college then.
63?
63. I graduated in 61.
So this is what the doctors should be trained at, not using an MRI. You use an MRI last, not first.
Hey, Paul, did you hear at the beginning of the show when we had Dr. Andrew from California who performs the Tommy John surgeries? He's going to shut down Harvey, the ace on the Mets pitching staff, if they get into the playoffs. He doesn't want him going past 180 pitch innings. And he's pitched 166 so far this year. He's their leader. And you have a doctor now dictating, like they did with Strasburg, to shut him down. What do you think about that, Dr. Andrew, having that kind of strength?
I don't even know I don't follow baseball at all, and that kind of, I don't know who that person is or what's wrong with that pitcher or what.
Well, he had the Tommy John surgery on his throwing elbow, and Dr. Andrew is the well-known doctor that does them, and he's dictating policy now. Now, why would you have the surgery if you can only pitch 188 innings? What good is that?
It's because of ignorance. They don't want the liability. The surgeon is saying, don't go past here because if you do, they're going to blame me.
Yes, okay.
So they're protecting themselves when they do that. They're not protecting the player.
Gotcha.
If they want to protect the player, they examine the player often.
They would have said pitch.
Yeah.
Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to take some questions from regular, everyday people who suffer. Is that okay with you guys if I do that?
Give out the number.
Okay, the number is 800-889-0267, or you can call Dr. Pinozzo at 1215 at 561-381-5800. 1215, we should almost be there. Okay, so let me give you the first
I wish
question.
someone would challenge me once in a while. Nobody talks to me.
We would love an orthopedic surgeon.
I would like an injured player to call.
Nobody could challenge me.
Okay, here we go.
Right, Paul? Paul knows.
So what now is I'm going to do with Dr. Pinozzo? I'm just going to make a little check mark here. Okay, Sergio.
Don't cross him out.
Nope. Sergio from Facebook writes, I was told my tennis elbow pain was a tendon that needed to be put in a soft air case so I could not further injure that area. I take pain pills, and can you fix it? And do I need a cast?
No, you don't need a cast.
What's a soft air cast, Doc?
Well, it's a cast that they pump up with air, and instead of putting one with plaster.
So it's like an immediate solution.
That's right. Just pump it up, and it holds you immobile. I had a guy who was in here in the office Wednesday who wore this big cast on his elbow. Mm-hmm. I said, what are you wearing this big cast on your elbow for? He said, because I had my shoulder operated. Oh, yeah. I said, so what are you wearing a cast on your elbow for? I mean, it doesn't stop you from moving your elbow, your shoulder.
If you want to stop him from moving his elbow,
that thing costs a lot of money. And what is it for? Nothing. It doesn't do anything. So I had him throw that away, and
it could have been worse. He could have walked in with a cast on his left foot, and then it could have been his right shoulder, which makes just as much sense.
Well, anyway, this is what you see.
Let's give another one. This is a personal one someone wrote about me. Alex from Survey Monkey writes, Les, which is me, had a shot or three. No, I had 2 shots for the groin area. And my question is, has it ever bothered you after you had the procedure done? Are you swinging harder on the golf course now that pain has been removed? And how long did you walk around with the pain? I walked around with the pain, first of all, for 3 days. Actually, I didn't walk around. I had to sit in one of those recliner chairs to sleep. When I got the shots, it was only 2. I was at the gym the next day doing squats, which was a Tuesday. Wednesday, I was playing golf, and it doesn't matter what I do. I don't play the game that well. Yeah, I was able to bend and pick up the ball. I was able to swing harder. Everything
was completely
fine.
Successful.
Oh, 100% successful in one day.
Okay, that's what he wants to know.
Yeah, it was completely successful in one day. I was able to do everything I did.
And it's never reoccurred.
It's been almost 9 months.
And you've been playing.
Yeah, I play. I go to the gym every day, and I play golf every day. I run on the treadmill every day. Nothing. No pain at all.
Yeah, see, this is that's why people come to our offices, because we do this right now.
Yeah.
The insurance companies don't want us to do that. They want to order therapy so that they keep their costs down and hope you disappear. And I'm saying, wait a minute.
It keep the cost up.
If I can tell where the pain is, why don't you want me to take care of it?
That's
You
right.
have to have compassion for these people. That's all they want. They want the pain gone. And if they have insurance, you ought to pay for it.
And the groin is, I don't know.
It saves you money.
Yeah.
So it's not on the groin, it's a knee,
Yeah.
hip, shoulder, everything.
Pain is hard to take.
But you can't function. Can't go to work. Can't make a
For
living.
instance, headache. Unless you have people who are understand what causes a headache, you can't treat it. You cannot
That's
treat
right
it.
there. You hit the nail right in the head. How could you fix something if you don't know what caused it?
That's exactly right. That's why people come to me. I'm a diagnostician. So is Paul. We learn how to diagnose on a musculoskeletal basis where this pain comes from. And it doesn't come from the blue. It comes from the body. You have to know where it is. And that's why I got to put my finger on it. Like you always say,
Oh, yeah.
you killed me with your finger.
That finger.
Oh,
he
he's
did
such a
it to
wuss.
me.
Isn't
Yeah.
he such a wuss that last time?
Yeah.
This
I
guy.
admit it. I'm Jewish. We pain is very dead.
He sent me in to see you.
I said
We went to see you. He says, you go first. He never went.
Well, let me tell you, groin pain is really.
If the pain is big enough, I guess you give in. Is that what it is?
Well, after dealing with this man for over 2 years, there is no way I would go to anyone but him first. And when you're cured in the same day, I mean, my God, what's better than that? Being able to play your sports, being able to do what you do. I mean, Paul, you must have that same thing when they come in and they're cured in one day. I mean, my God, what's better than that?
Oh, Paul, he's got a huge
Oh, yeah.
practice because of that. Yeah.
You know, people don't understand. Everybody that's here today have seen Dr. Pinozzo, so we're not just talking because we have nothing else to do. I mean, Freddie, how many inches did you go? Because you were always in pain. You carry around
4 years. 4 years.
Yeah, and you lug around heavy equipment.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that I
Come
didn't
on.
know that he existed.
No one did until
But I went to other doctors and I got
Yeah.
painkillers, and I says, I can't keep doing this. This is ridiculous.
No.
I mean, my liver's probably gone because I sucked down so much of those.
Well, a painkiller works on your brain, not on the source.
See, what you're talking about is self-preservation. Patients have to preserve themselves. They can't just take narcotics and other drugs without getting some kind of result. And you got to speak up for yourself. If the doctor is only prescribing stuff for you, then leave that guy. Go somewhere else because doesn't know what he's doing.
No, you're right. You're right. But I didn't know that you
And the
existed.
Same thing with me. Well,
That's why
of
we
course
do the
not.
show.
That's why we're on this radio.
Right. But then I found
Same
out you
thing
do
with me.
exist.
If I'm going to if I don't take care of you in 1 or 2 days, you're in the wrong office.
Exactly.
I will tell you that much right now. You
Yeah.
have to challenge me. If you don't challenge me, you don't get the result.
I mean, the amazing part of what I've seen over the years with you, the people who have gone everywhere, just to let you know, you don't see any more Botox commercials for headache.
Yeah, I know they disappeared.
Now they're doing it for women's bladders.
Yeah, he's
sure.
right.
Yeah.
He's absolutely right.
Paul,
Yeah.
I can't believe this stuff goes on. Can you?
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I will tell you, the part of that, sometimes payment drives care, and Botox now takes a lot of work to do, to draw it up and to put it in, and for the time it takes to do it, and it's not a very, not a very efficient way to do things. I never really thought much of it for Botox for headache, but now there's very little margin on Botox anyway, so people don't want to do it anymore.
They're correcting the profit. Yeah.
That's right. So that's going to go by the
so
wayside.
that's going to go by the wayside.
Yeah.
Just like
Well,
chondroitin
it should have never
sulfate.
been
You
there
don't see
anyway.
that anymore.
No.
do you?
Injecting Botox for headache was always dumb.
Yeah.
It's never been
absolutely.
done, but now, now they're just going to get rid of it by not having paying the payment for it, which is good.
No, which is great is they stopped doing it because I watch all the commercials more than I watch TV shows, and it's totally off the air for now they came out with Excedrin PM that'll get rid of you. Yeah.
Hey, listen.
That's just for migraines. It's especially for
Paul,
migraines.
in Florida, they have something called Fix-A-Flat.
Yes.
And they were injecting Fix-A-Flat in the in the
the
buttocks.
buttocks.
In the buttocks.
Oh,
They
yeah,
give you
yeah.
buttocks.
Yeah.
And the stuff turned into a ball, and it used to turn around in your buttocks.
Yeah, it was
And
true.
those doctors all went to jail. They
Yeah.
could have killed people with
Yeah.
that stuff.
Well, they're finding out, like Dr. Paul and Dr. Tony here said the same thing. It doesn't work, and we have people that have gone there.
Well, you have to protect yourself, and
Yeah.
don't get treated for a year and think nothing of it. You should be treated 2 or 3 days, and that's it. You either improve or you don't. If you don't improve,
Well,
you
we
gotta
all
go.
know
Gotta
that
go to another office. You got to shop around. Take care of yourself.
Yeah. if you got shots in the head, we know the headache isn't in the head, doesn't come from the head.
Right.
So isn't it amazing now they're switching to something else because Botox was designed for one thing. The snake venom was supposed to puff up the wrinkles.
That stuff can kill you. Don't put stuff into your body.
No, I mean, I'm going to ask another question. Well, we got both doctors with us today. Wilfred from Miami writes, when you're doing a seminar in Miami, so those of us who can't get around so good anymore can make an appointment to see you. Bad knees seems to be the cause of the day, and we have plenty of them. Okay. Let us know when you're appearing so we can come and see you and get help.
They want a seminar in Miami.
We're not doing a seminar in Miami and do any treatments there.
No, you
So,
can't.
I mean, if you want, whoever wrote that, if they want to make an appointment, they could just drive up 95 to the office. And
It only takes 20 minutes, and let me tell you something. He can't diagnose. He can diagnose you, but he can't help you because he needs to do
The
certain
other
x-rays.
thing you hear a lot is, "Oh, my insurance won't cover. You're out of network." So,
Right.
so what? It's still the best you can get. My service is the best you can get. In or out of network. And who determined who's in network? The insurance company. Why did they determine that? Because they have to pay less. So you got to protect yourself. You have to know why we're out of network. Am I not trained? I'm trained. And I should be in every network.
These two
Like
gentlemen
in,
that you...
Blue Cross
Yeah.
Blue Shield, we're in everything they have. Why? They
They see it, sure.
They save money on me because I fix people quickly. No MRIs, no hospitals, no nothing. And so that if your insurance company says, well, the doctor's out of network, say, well, I'm going to get another insurance then.
Well, the funny thing here, Doc,
Yeah, right.
Doc, the important thing is what you just pointed out. When they come in to see you and they no longer have the pain, there's nothing else to go back for. Of course, insurance companies aren't going to want you. They want things to have
They
repeated
want you to keep
business.
going back to the doctors.
Of course, like
Insurance
chiropractors, 20 visits.
Insurance companies do not want repeat business. It costs them money.
Then why are they...
They keep paying out. They get nothing for it. So they're not smart enough, management-wise, to know who's good and who's not. If I was running an insurance company, which I think, Paul, you want to invest in an insurance company, we could do a great job at this, musculoskeletal-wise. We would be no surgeries done. There'd be no MRIs done. We train people how to approach these things, and insurance companies would save money, a lot of money. But, what are you going to do? Management is very hard to get by.
I'm not knocking anyone, folks. I just want to ask you, why are chiropractors always on the insurance thing?
Because the insurance companies get sold a bill of goods. They think, well, it's a low-cost item, and most of these people don't have any problem anyway.
And why do chiropractors come see
So
you?
they disappear. Why they come and see me? Because I'm good at what I do. That's why.
I was there when a chiropractor came in.
And what do you do?
He had pain.
Well,
He had pain? The chiropractor.
yeah. Well, the pain that this one person was having was an annulus pain, which is inside the body. It's not in the back. It's in the middle of the body, above the hip. See?
Yeah.
It's way in here, not back there. And he wanted to know why I would say about, on this program, I would say, well, chiropractic treatment or physical therapy is not going to treat the area bothering you.
Mm-hmm.
And he would say, why do you say that? It's because how do you treat an annulus? You don't. You can't get to it.
Really?
That's why we say what we say. Yeah. It's based on the diagnosis. I have nothing against these people. Everybody's got to make a living.
Yeah.
But if you don't have what's required, then don't do it. I mean, if I can't do something, I'm going to tell people, no, I can't do it.
Paul would do the same thing.
And he does the same thing.
Yeah.
So, anyways, when you have an annulus problem, which is a disc problem, we approach it with a shot because it goes right where we want it. You have to take anything by mouth, and it cures it right on the spot. 2 minutes, it's gone, and does not come back.
That's the beauty of it. It doesn't come back. Yeah, no chat box.
They got a question that came in. Lucas Duda, the first baseman to the Mets, was diagnosed with a bad back. They didn't say what it was. Now, all of a sudden, it says a slip disc. What's the slip disc, Doc?
Nothing. Doesn't.
What did it slip to? Where'd it go?
We don't know,
Maybe
but it slipped.
went out for a drink, a Coca-Cola or something.
3 weeks out. 3 weeks he hasn't played when they need him most.
You see, those should be attacked right now. We'd have that pain treated inside of 20,
and he's in Jupiter.
20 minutes.
He's here.
Yeah, well, he should come in and see me because in 20 minutes that pain would be gone. It will not come back.
Dude, come see us. We'll have
561.
You see, the back pain is a failed physiology of weight bearing. You have to think of it as a physics problem, not a medical problem. That's why an MRI is not going to help you. It doesn't give you the why. It gives you the what, maybe.
It's flat. It's not three-dimensional. You can't see it. I mean, MRIs are good for things like discovering a cancer or something like that, but what you do, like you said, it's someone other than the doctor reads it first and says, hey, doc, this is what it is. Okay, so how does this show go so fast?
I don't know.
561-381-5800. And please, let us get off the air first before you call.
Nah, call him now. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, call him now. We don't
call him. He can put less in danger.
561-381-5800.
Are we off the air?
No, we're still on the air. No, you can't.
Still on the air.
Can't take your call.
That's just not yet. We're gonna get there in 2 minutes.
So, Paul, number one is, how's the weather up in Arizona?
Paul, you there?
I think he's on.
We lost Mr. Paul.
I guess Paul went home.
Mr. Paul is gone.
Yeah, he's okay.
He's west of the Mississippi.
He's west of the Mississippi. He's east of the Mississippi. And Colleen, that's so pretty. She holds up 2 fingers.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. So, Freddie.
Yes.
What are you going to do now for the weekend since Doctor's on the phone?
Well, tomorrow is a nice holiday for everybody.
Very nice.
I have to work.
Yeah, I have to work.
Unfortunately, I got to work from 3 to 8.
Oh gosh.
But,
Dr. Panozzo, I'm returning your call.
And there he is. He's taking phone calls on the air, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. And what are you going to be doing?
I don't do anything except go to relative's house, have some hot dogs, hamburgers, swim in the pool, and relax. What are you doing, Doc, for the holiday?
Just about the same stuff.
Yeah, just to kind of relax. So everybody, 581.
581.
381.
381.
5800 to call.
Not 581.
What did I say? I said.
You said 581.
I'm going to say 561-381-5800. You can call up Dr. Panozzo now, and if you have pain Monday and you have to go and you're going to a barbecue, stop right in. He'll give you a shot and you'll be okay. Are you open Monday?
Absolutely no.
No. So don't come in Monday. Everyone have a great holiday. Be safe out there.
Well, thanks so much, Les.
Thank you, sir.
Good job, Les.
And Freddie.
And
Good
Freddie,
job,
You always
Panozzo.
did a good job there, Freddie. It's what about New York, Freddie?
We're working on New York. Panozzo will be in New York hopefully in October.
October?
Stay tuned. Yeah,
No
we need
kidding.
we need the cold weather, baby.
This has been the Dr. Panozzo Sports and Medicine Hour with Dr. Anthony Panozzo. If you spend 5 minutes with Dr. Panozzo, you'll see he genuinely enjoys helping others. Visit Dr. Panozzo online at www.paincentersnationwide.com or call him at 561